Hey everyone. Since we missed class last Friday due to uh, Insights Teacher Professional Development last Friday, I decided to send you out a recording for the quiz review, which is what we would have done in class last week. So you are due to take the quiz this week as well as work on discussion questions 1 and 2. So I'm going to go over things that you need to know on the quiz. All right, first, all of these topics would be helpful to study along with fashion design. So communication, that would be kind of written communication, interpersonal communication, communication between two entities, like two businesses, so professional communication, yeah, all that kind of stuff. So art would be, drawing, 2D design, 3D design, painting, lots of color theory would be great for fashion design. And then business, of course, which would include things like marketing skills, social media, advertising, coming up with a business plan, all that good stuff. So all of those things would be helpful for your career in fashion design. One reason it is difficult to break into the fashion industry is because there's lots of competition for jobs. So even in entry-level positions, even though it doesn't start out with very good pay, usually, but you know what, for a single person, no kids, not married, free, it's not too bad. It's usually in the 30s, so 30,000 plus. So you're definitely not going to get rich at the entry-level position. But even though it doesn't pay very much, it is still competitive because lots of people want to be having the same job. All right, the first step in designing a piece of clothing is creating a sketch. I'm sure you guys probably know that, and a lot of you have already started doing this already. Other things that you need to think of is selection of fabrics, and then actually sewing the garment, creating that prototype that we talked about last week. And then kind of depending, do you have a technical designer, finding seamstresses, stuff like that. Okay, different things to put in your professional portfolio once you get to that point. Pictures of past design projects, original sketches, samples of pieces you have created, and that last one got cut off just a little bit, but that says swatches of fabrics. When we're talking about technical designer, we learned that a technical designer is the one who kind of takes the prototype and then is in charge of kind of turning it into a line of clothing. So finding people to sew it, setting up the machines, finding all the fabric, all that kind of stuff. It is definitely a leadership position, so communication is an important skill. Interior designers need to know building codes to make sure that health and safety codes are met. Things like height and width of windows. You definitely can be working with some contractors at that point, but you would need to know those codes as well. How tall do stairs have to be? Where do railings have to go? All that good stuff. Also, interior designers are required to take an accreditation exam, so you do have to be kind of licensed and certified to represent yourself as a professional interior designer. Internships, we talked about this last week as well, are important for building a design career because they offer on-the-job experience, coming to referrals from your supervisor, great for networking in that way, and it can also lead to jobs with the company that you're interning for. This image right here is from a great movie about a fashion internship called The Devil Wears Prada. If you are into fashion design, as I assume you are taking this class, definitely you might want to check that out. Alright, sales reps represent designers and manufacturers. We're going to talk about those compared to fashion buyers. Okay, they both use kind of the same skills, and we'll talk in just a moment about why they are different though. Beginning a fashion career in the accessories field is a good first step because you can start selling your wares at trade shows, which is shown here, and in stores pretty easily. So accessories being like, earrings, purses, bags, headbands, that kind of stuff. You don't need a degree for that. You guys could start doing that right now. There's also online galleries and shops as well that you might be able to enter into, like Etsy. If you want to go into accessory design, a certificate program and a specific skill may be more useful than a college education. So sewing certifications, maybe jewelry design certifications, that kind of thing. So you can always check even your community college, or in the town that you live in, there's often community classes as well. Someone that works in sourcing, which means locating and pricing necessary materials, would most likely work with a technical designer. Sorry, that got cut off a little bit too. So, let's say a technical designer says, I need a silver linen for this price, no more than this price. Then, so the sourcing personnel would be in charge of finding that and making sure that there's enough, that's at the right price, all that kind of stuff. So one thing, we talk about different part-time jobs to have, even now, before you start college or before you kind of start your fashion career. And one of those part-time jobs could be in a dry cleaning business, because they work a lot, obviously, with fabric, and they do a lot of mending, so you could learn about sewing as well. An interior designer might specialize in creating appealing visual displays of merchandise if he or she worked in the retail business. So let's say that you got your degree in interior design, you took your accreditation exam, and you're now licensed. And actually, you wouldn't really need to be licensed to work in retail. But so one thing that you could do is be the one that creates the displays of, sometimes it could be clothing, like up here in the upper left corner. Here's a Louis Vuitton, which is luggage and bags. Pretty creative. And then down here is like housewares, stuff to decorate your house. Searching the website of a professional organization is useful if you want to find businesses in that field in your area, schools with programs in that field, the requirements for a career in that field, and other important contact information. One of the biggest ones is the Fashion Industry Association, so you can go on their website and lots of good information. If college is not an option for you, for whatever reason, your next best option for starting a career in fashion is trying a 2-year program. So again, check out your community colleges for that, and then getting a lot of experience in the industry. So we talked about working in retail, as we just said right now, working in a dry cleaning business, okay, internships with, dressmakers, lots of different designers. So think about internships and kind of entry-level positions in retail and fashion. All right, so I told you that we were going to go over a little bit about how a buyer and the sales rep use the same skills and then how they are different. So they're both wanting to sell something. They use their sales skills to convince people to buy things. The difference is that a buyer works for a retail store. Okay, so the buyer is going out and kind of making deals, often actually with the sales reps, to find the right clothing for their store, whereas the sales rep works for the designer or the manufacturer, trying to get the clothing actually into the stores. Coming back to the technical designer, it's very important that they have good computer skills, because a lot of the production machinery now is becoming computerized. Although, as you guys know, good computer skills are important for really any position. Anyone in the world is going to be using computers at this point. So fashion designers as well use things like Adobe Illustrator, SketchUp, lots of different design programs. Okay, and last, the technical designer, believe it or not, is one of the highest paid positions in the fashion industry, especially at the entry level. Average salaries between $50,000 and $60,000, but upwards of $90,000 to $100,000. All right, you guys, that is it for our quiz review. So after you are done with this, I would suggest going in and taking the quiz right away so the information is all still fresh in your head. Okay, we'll see you this Friday.